Salut ma pépette. Can you guys hear me? Ah non, faudrait pas que tu boives dans mon eau par exemple, ça serait vraiment pas pratique. Faire ça comme ça. Hein? Hey Miss. Hey Miss Propos. Idéalement que tu fasses pas tout tomber aussi. You wanna say hi, Pico? You wanna say prou prou? Prou prou prou. The kitten is being extra needy. And while you guys are still voting, I thought we could have a bit of a kitty on camera. Hi guys, hi Carly Smith, hi Mama Reads, hi Amy. Hello, hello. Purring. Yeah. I wish she would purr in the microphone though. Just the other way. Move your head that way. Come on, Pix. Hey, Wildflower, hi. Hello, hello. Apropos, Pico, gonna make me a tea. Yeah, mine is, actually I need to put the water in it. But I can't really leave the cat here. Tu surveilles Pépé? Cute, hein? Toute contente d'avoir des amis. I'm having coffee with too much flavored creamer. Ooh. What flavor? Rhiannon, hi. Hello, hello. All you can see is a bit of a cat back, but yeah. Hey, my minute. She has a bit of a bald spot on her back. I hope it's not showing too much. Poor baby. Attends. Oh, finito. Bye, Pico. Qui a pas son poil? Je sais pas où elle va s'installer.
Bonne question.
Ouais. J Black, hello. Hello, hello. What is that semi-transparent rose on line 2 in the second color triad? Well, I'm gonna wait until... No, I might. If you guys don't want to know what the colors are, plug your ears for a second. Okay? Are we good? It's Potter's Pink. If my notes are right. You're welcome. I tried to keep these a secret, but like I wouldn't say all the colors beforehand because I feel like that takes away a bit of the fun of just picking one. But yeah, when there's a winner, I'm gonna show the colors on screen, and also I think, unless you guys tell me straight up that you're fed up with Triad streams, we're gonna go through all of them. Just waiting a couple more minutes for more people to possibly trickle in, and also for my tea to steep. It's totally my bad asking for spoilers. Oh no! No spoilers! But yeah, I can understand being really curious. I know I would be really bothered if I was like focusing on one swatch and not knowing what it is, so I get it. But yeah, we're gonna go through all of them, and even if we didn't, I'm gonna share what they all are, either on the Discord or in the post section, which was the community section on the channel. So you have a bit of time to grab a snack, grab a cup of tea, get your painting supplies out. So for now, it is Triad number 1 that is winning. I have cat fur all over me. It's really funny how the cats go from not shedding at all during the winter, and then in the span of 1 week they start losing all of their fur at once. Ça va très bien. Pico. Mais qu'est-ce que tu fais? C'était quoi le soupir, là? What do you want? Oui, mais je sais pas, moi je vois pas le raton. Mais tu vas m'amener à côté des gamelles, puis je vais te dire c'est pas l'heure de manger. C'est pas l'heure de manger. Hein? C'est pas l'heure de manger, Pico. All right. So it would seem that Triad number 1 is still the leading one. I know what you mean. My tabby generally is very fluffy in winter. Yep. Sounds about right. Every surface of our couch. Oh yeah. And no matter how much you brush them. And that's how Pico ended up with a bald spot. I kind of feel bad. I was brushing her like I would always brush her. But for some reason, it removed a lot of hair from one area. And I don't know why. Perhaps we need to switch to a gentler brush now that they're older, but that was a surprise. You can probably still hear her being a noisy kitty. Right. Let me know if you can still hear me fine. I'm gonna prepare a mixing area, take out the pans I need. And our winning triad is green gold, cherry quinacridone, and indigo hue. Caroline. Tu l'entends-tu?
Attends, je suis...
Ok.
Oui.
Tu l'entends-tu?
Oui. Peut-être un câble.
Sûrement. Définitivement. This Triad has a great selection. Cool. I'm glad. Right, so what do I need? Green gold. That's green gold. It is a mix of pigment. Then I need cherry Quin. Cherry Quin. And indigo hue. Meow meow. I'm really sorry for the cat howls you can probably hear in the back. She has a brain fart moment. Mais oui, mais là, big goal. I went for the green gold deep. Yeah, I know that the green gold deep is the single. What was my notes about? Let me check. Yeah, I just wrote green gold because hold on. Let me check out the difference between the colors because I feel like I remember it being intentional that I went for the multi-pigment one because number of pigment irrelevant anyway, but they are really similar in hue. It's these two here. But I felt like this one was a touch more vibrant and I was interested to play with that. So yeah, that's why I went with that one. No reason to apologize, Piku. It's sort of cute and entirely relatable. She's been doing that the last like couple of weeks, and either she just has a sort of brain bubble moment, or she's gonna end up going to the bathroom and then she'll quiet down. I don't know what's the cat logic for that. Hey, salut! She's here now. Hello. What's up? Oui, mais là. Oui. T'as déjà fait la star. Hey, mes minettes. Je peux pas te prendre et travailler en même temps. Tu veux même pas te faire prendre, tu te sauves. Mon bébé. Oh, t'es cute. Les minettes. Les minettes. Non, tu t'en vas? Ok, bye. So I usually put the yellow first. The yellow in this case is green gold. Yellow. Louis! Hey! Hello, hello! Quick visit, I have to work in a bit. Ooh, I hope you have a great work day. Not a terrible one. We want a great work day. So, okay, this mixture, the green gold, is PY150, PY129, and PG36. All three very transparent colors. Yellow, a yellow green, and a green. So basically we're gonna end up with a transparent mixture very similar to the single pigment PY129. Not entirely sure why there's both within the range, but we'll see. Then we have Rao. Wow. Oh, not pigment film that one. Did you film it, Nico? What, bro? The cat has a lot to say. Well, it's gonna be till 12:30 a.m. Oof. The cat is saying hello. She's been saying a lot of hellos. So many hellos. What time is it for you right now, Louis? This one is PR209. I'm gonna have to label that pan too because I don't do unlabeled pans. She's not always that vocal. That's the funny bit. Like when she's vocal, she's very vocal, but usually she's mind you, she's always has chirps and weird noises to do, but she's never that loud. She's being really loud right now. What's up, Pico? What's up? An indigo hue, PB60, so indent throne or indent threne blue, and PBk7. I never remember which one is PBk7, if it's lamp black or ivory black, but I think it's lamp black. Yeah, ivory black here is PBk9, so that would make PBk7, carbon, or lamp black, which is technically the vegan one. Alright, so that's that. Oh, it's the twin. So we're about in the same time zone. Oh, interesting. Well, that's a help, Mom, from the cat pick me up. She did a bit of a stint under the camera earlier. She had her moment of fame. Sorry. When my tabby wants something, she just stares at me like she wants to mind meld with me. I love that. Like, I wish you could mind meld with me because I have no idea what you're asking for. I don't speak cat. I wish I did, but I don't. Because of the proximity and timing to her doing those noises and her going to the litter box, we always joke that she's saying stuff like related to the nature of what's going on in her innards. Let's put it like that. Let's try to stay classy just a bit. Just a second at least. Kind of a, I have to use the restroom. I have to use the restroom. That kind of stuff. Oh, of course. Cat hair in the water. Because, of course. It's not enough attention for her. Yeah. She's usually not that demanding. I don't know what's up. Related to her bowel schedule. Yeah. You know how cats can have zoomies that are also related to that schedule? Well, that could be the case here. Right, so straight up, this color is probably the a very good contender for being right next to the definition of intense, because it has PY150 and PY129 in it. It is a very, very intense color with a super strong color payoff, and I don't tend to keep track a lot of staining colors because it's very rare that I lift colors when I paint. So it's not something that's in my mind, but I'm pretty sure this is a very staining color. So that's the first one, and my water is already yellow. Like I just like did one swatch, and this is the color of the of the water already. Yep, Sumis for my cats is before or after. Yep. Laura, hey, Quack Crew, hello. If I had the soundboard, I would definitely have the quack on the soundboard. Next color is gonna be the quote-unquote red of this mixture. It's a really unique color, I feel, PR209, because it's red, but it's also pink, but it's also red, but it's also pink, but it's also red, but it's not magenta. Also a very transparent color. I think within this selection, the only pigment that has a possibility of being less transparent is the black in the indigo, but for everything else, we're dealing with very transparent, very bright colors. It's a beautiful color, wow. I've not seen a swatch in real time of that. Yeah, and mind you, the camera is probably not doing it full justice for a couple of reasons. First of all, my lamp, the big lamp up there, tends to do sort of a glare on wet paint because of the water. But yeah, it's a weird color that's kind of a really intense pink red, but not really a magenta. It's a fairly unique and really fun color. And then indigo. This version of indigo seems to be really leaning more heavily on the PB60 component, because it's a bit more like a dark blue than a real indigo like hue. It's not as close to the color of indigo as other indigo hue paints that I've tried. It's more like a really dark blue with cat fur in it. So looking at these three colors, do you guys have kind of a prediction or a vibe or a feeling in relation to how they'll mix together? What kind of colors are we gonna get from this? And I'm gonna I have a couple of pieces of chocolate, so I'm gonna chew on one.
American Primeval.
Okay. Vibrant purples. I don't think we're gonna end up with any kind of weak mixes in here. Oh, that was last week. I noticed that the carmine from last week, if you do like me and you paint on both pages, there's a bit of the carmine like texture that seems to transfer. But yeah, I've made other, this was quite strong too. Oh, this one. You can kind of see that since the colors here are have a lighter tinting strength, they're less strong in intensity. Well, all the mixes are more subtle too. And when you have colors that are really intense, you tend to get more intense mixes. Really luminous purple, I reckon. That cherry quin red is quite strange. A cool red with a warm undertone. I'm not even sure if I would put it in the cool reds. It's a really weird color. It's like a really, really intense pink. But not magenta, just pink. I keep saying that, but yeah. Okay, so let's get started with the, since I have a blob of green on my plate, I'm gonna start with the mix between cherry quin and green gold. Cat fur all over the place. So who had their bet on a really intense orange for this mix? I don't think I did. I'm not sure if it goes exactly in the middle, but still gonna put it there for now. That's cool. That's really cool. It feels cool somehow, but never gets magenta. Yeah, that's a weird color. I'm swatching alcohol markers. Ooh. Great. Yeah. And we kind of get a a yellow. How trippy is that? It's so weird because yellow is usually not a color that you can get from mixing, really. Mind you, it's not a like perfectly clean yellow. It's a bit muted, it's a bit orange. But if you showed someone just this swatch, they would tell you, well, that's in the yellow family. Interesting. It makes it for a sort of red color when you balance it more towards the red color. Duh. So the yellow-green with just a bit of the pink gets yellow, and the pink with just a bit of the green gets sort of red. That's really cool. Yeah, kind of an Indian yellow, or, you know, kind of a gamboge hue color. That's really peculiar. Alright, let's go to the purples and violets. Murky yellow. I've watched way too many videos about fake medicine. I'm not gonna tell you what color comparison came to mind. It is not it is not friendly. Nope, that's not what I was going for. It's really difficult sometimes to get a mix that feels like it's in the middle, sort of. And I also always feel like this would never be quite the same color depending on who paints, because I kind of feel like we all have our own respective perceptions of what would be a middle ground color between two other colors, if that makes sense. And ultimately it's not really important, but yeah. I remember a very long time ago when I was studying to be a graphic designer. We had a class that was about color and color theory and all that. And the teacher, part of the curriculum, she got us to buy cyan, magenta, and yellow and acrylic paints. And we spent so many classes painting swatches of colors with the ultimate goal of making a color wheel. So you would go and I still have it. I kept it because it was such a trial of pain. But yeah, we would like cyan, yellow, magenta, that's straight from the tube, that's fine. Then we would mix all of these colors to get all the declination the teacher wanted. And then we would have to go see her up front with our swatches, and she would compare them to her benchmark swatches and would tell us which ones fit and which ones didn't. And then we had to go back and do more mixes of the ones that were not to her liking. And all in all, I mean, I wouldn't mind, but it was so annoying because it was kind of a big waste of paint. And the paint was like, it was those 3 tubes. I think one of them was relatively expensive. So it was just annoying because you were working, you feel like you're just wasting paint for ultimately reaching the part of the exercise that it's not exactly relevant. Like, we don't really need to perfectly match the swatch the teacher had. We only need to understand how color theory works, you know? Let's just say that she was not my favorite teacher at all. I think I underestimated the impact of that black pigment in indigo hue for cutting through the luminosity of cherry Quin. It really mutes it down, doesn't it? I mean, they're beautiful, sort of more natural purples, but they're not that punch in your face purple. That our teachers just gave you guys an impossible text. Well, it was not impossible because ultimately we would get to it, but it kind of felt like 20% of the time spent on that exercise contained like 99% of the learning there was to be had. And then all the percentage left of the class, you don't really learn anything when you just keep mixing yellow and cyan until you get a swatch of color that satisfies the teacher. Like you don't learn from that. But the part about taking these paints out and mixing them together and seeing what you can get, that was fun. It was also kind of funny because this was the color theory class, and she would have us paint with acrylic paints. But, I mean, I might not remember well, but no part of that class was about learning how to use acrylic paints. So whenever she would have us do exercises afterwards that were about painting stuff, like I don't know, I remember having some really mixed result and not necessarily knowing why I was getting these results in terms of handling the paint. Ooh, that's a really nice green. Oh, that's pretty. I really love it. Every color mix is going to be different because you can't really measure the same color. Yeah, that's the thing. So we would have to do an exaggerated amount of mixes, like, and then goes here at the desk up front with our like 20 swatches of yellow greens, and she would like compare them to her swatch and be like, okay, this one goes, this one is fine, and like, ugh. And then if none of them were matched, you would have to go back to the bench and do more mixes and try to, you know, make the fluctuations to get to like, oh, well, okay, so I'm gonna start from yellow, I'm gonna add, you know, this amount of cyan, then a bit more yellow, then more cyan, then, you know, just do a bunch of noodling for something that ultimately, who cares? I still have it. That thing is 24 years old, and I want to be buried with it. So it says, like, this is an overlay, and this is all my really stupid paint circles. And I had a 9. Possibly out of 10. And I don't know why. I feel like these are fine. So you have how many declinations you have between each of them? 1, 2, 5. Yeah, I feel like it's not too shabby. I don't know why I got a 9, but that teacher can suck eggs. I remember one of the exercises, we had to pick a type of color contrast and then find an illustration somewhere and copy it and paint it with the color contrast featured. And I remember picking purple and yellow with the idea of being a contrast of complementary colors. And I painted my little drawing, and I, you know, handed it. And the only feedback she gave me was like, the contrast of the complementary colors is not convincing. And I remember just looking at it and being like, but it's purple and yellow. I don't know anymore. I think at that point I just went, ugh. Am I having a passing grade? Yes. Okay, fine. Never mind all the rest. It's just like, I have other classes. I have other work to do. Let's just focus on that. And Lise, hi, hello. Okay, now color match this current Triad with the original Wheel of Frustration. That's a really good name for it. Jill, hey, long time no see. How are you doing? Hello, hello. Ooh, hey, Lewis, you were mentioning sap green earlier. I think we have a good sort of sap greenish color somewhere in there, which is really interesting. That's really cool. We get some really amazing colors in there. I'm really loving the greens, but yeah, I have a weak spot for you know, good greens, and it's my favorite part of it. It's the spludge. Making a big... Oh no, I have to try to make a neutral first. Dang it. I want to mix rubbish. I think we're getting quite close to a good neutral-ish. Always try to get as close to black as possible. This is still a bit greenish, I feel. Yeah, that's pretty good. It kind of feels somewhat neutral. Just for fun, I'm going to add a bit more pink into it. So it's going to be a bit of a pinkish neutral, but now it's time to do a big palette mix-up. Gonna get a bit more water in here. Hey, Melissa. Hello. So what have you guys been up to this week? Was it a good week? We don't have Otto in chat, but usually a regular question we enjoy asking is, what was something delicious that you ate last week? I'm trying to think if I have something to mention. I ate a pretty delicious pecan pie. Pecan pie? It's really interesting because with these three colors we're not going to get any granulation anywhere. Pumpkin spice cheesecake, gluten-free and vegan. Whoa. Dude, that sounds fancy. So if it was vegan, what was the fake cheese base? Was it cashew or something else? Super delicious salmon with white wine. Ooh, salmon. A good salmon is pretty amazing. Also, a good salmon doesn't really need more than a bit of salt and pepper on it. I'm not entirely sure it was they a brand. Oh, I didn't know they had a pumpkin spice one. I've seen the blueberry one. Pumpkin spice sounds amazing. One of my favorite vegan dessert. It's the darn word that I keep tripping into. But anyway, it's a sort of a fake tiramisu. And it's all raw vegan things. And it doesn't have the, the texture of tiramisu, of course. But it tastes exactly the same. I don't know how they managed to replicate the taste of mascarpone, but they did. And I was always really stunned by it, but it's become difficult to find, which is really a bummer. But wow, that thing was really interesting. It was like coconut based with, I think it had the almond and of course like coffee cacao, vanilla, all that, but it's your favorite dish, Liz. Ooh. Me having shrimp rice. Ooh. I haven't seen the blueberry one before, huh? Here we have plain key lime strawberry. Strawberry. Dang. I want your flavors. I don't want the flavors we have here. Like, I'm not big on cheesecake to begin with. Vegan would probably be a bit better because no actual cheese in it. But of all the flavors, I wouldn't go for blueberry first. I would definitely get pumpkin spice or strawberry. I think you have to be kind of mental to get the plain one. Apologies, but yeah. Vegetarian potato, cheese, sausage. Ooh. Wow. So hold on. If it's vegetarian, what's the sausage like? Is it fake sausage? Same, cheesecake is a weird texture. It is a really weird texture. We had a big ramble about that last week. I could never do regular cheesecake, even when I could have dairy. Cheesecake was a big no. It was my mom's favorite cake, so she would bake it, and I would taste it and not eat it. I mean, for me to say no to cake, you know that something's up. Pumpkin spice is hard to find. They only seem to sell it in the fall, and only one local grocery store carries them. Oh, dude. Why? Why do they make this extra hard? Fake a la bologna. Like bologna? But bologna is... It's basically just an overgrown hot dog sausage, isn't it? I can eat it, but not a favorite. It's like a sandy custard. I'm so glad you're there, Louis. High five. I usually get buried under people that love cheesecake, but I'm glad that... Sur le rack, s'il vous plaît. Dans le sèche, pas de problème. I adore cheesecake, and the day ones have great texture. I don't think I've tried them because of the blueberry thing. So hold on, if it's vegetarian, bologna is not exactly vegetarian, isn't it? I'm confused. I'm just trying to unconfuse myself. I really don't mind if you've eaten meat or not. But I'm just confused. Oh, it's a fake bologna. Oh. I get it. Some fake meats are really quite tasty. They don't taste like what they say they're fake of. Like fake beef doesn't taste like beef. But as a mixture of various things, they don't all taste bad. Okay, that's good to know, Jill. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm not a big cheesecake person. Have a great day too, Louis. Thank you so much for stopping by. We wish you a great day at work. Right now I'm enjoying chocolate. Ooh, what kind of chocolate? I also have a piece of chocolate left. So what do we think of these hodgepodge colors so far? I'm gonna do a more sort of methodical page of mixes on the next page, but for now it's just like mixing whatever and seeing what comes up in terms of color. Kind of makes for a cohesive palette, but it gets muted really quickly once you get all three colors in the mix. Paper towel, not a fart. Paper towel again. I really enjoy. Yeah, I'm surprised. It's a really interesting one. I think it was Lena who recently mentioned having a urban sketching kit that didn't have any yellow in it, but it had green gold, and I think hers was the single pigment version, but it's very similar in hue, so mixing with it is going to be pretty much the same. And I don't remember what she used as a magenta color, but yeah, she was able to get a sort of yellow ochre that way, and that's somewhat close to the yellow we got here, though perhaps I think this one is a bit more vibrant than most yellow ochre. I love the variety of natural looking greens available, and the bright oranges are a nice contrast. Had to let the cat in. Is the cat named Ferrero Rocher for real? I'm surprised how vivid the yellow red. Me too! I really was not expecting them to... I was expecting them to mute each other more instead of like combining. Does that make sense? Hey, Galgos Berlin, hi! Hello, hello! Hello from Berlin. Sorry. Steven of Mind of Watercolor swears by having green gold in his palette. Yeah, I can see why, but he also has a yellow, right? So you kind of don't necessarily see the green gold as the yellow of the palette if there's an actual yellow right next to it. I've used PY129 in threads before as my yellow, and it always surprises me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely experiment with that more. And that's not even the pure pigment one. That's, I mean, not that it matters, but it's something about this specific yellow-green hue that mixes really interestingly. And with this quinacridone red, which is really, the way I would describe it is that it's a pink. It's not red, it's just a very intense pink. So that pink and the green, I think it was Tori. What was the name of her channel? Torian Inc. something? She's really good. She's a really good painter. And at one point she would use quinacridone red and a green gold color to create skin colors. And I can see why or where in there you would find something that could work for some variations of skin color. Makes a lovely mandarin orange. Really? I've been using the S Green Gold as my yellow, having had used, no judgment, Buff Titanium as my yellow for a while. It's been a wild switch. Ooh! Ooh, hold on, I need to note that down. I've made a triad at some point where I had a gray for the yellow spot, and it was really interesting. But I have to try one with Buff Titanium as my yellow, if you don't mind me yunking that idea. Yoink. Alright, next page. That's always a bit tricky to set up. I'm just gonna paint it upside down. That's fine. So what I do, I'm just gonna use the other bowl of water that I have. Otto! Hey! Using a gray for yellow. And by all means to use awesome, thank you. How is the light fastness of the Indigo? I'm not very... I can give you the info from the chart, but that's about it. I don't really focus on light fastness. It has an 8, which is very light fast on the blue wool scale. It's PB60 and PBk7. I'm pretty sure that PBk7 as a pigment is very light fast. It is just lamp black. It is soot. And I feel like PB60 too, Indian Throne Blue, is a very light fast pigment. So Hayato! I think the Roman Jamal Indo isn't too bad. It's made... Yeah, that's Indo. Did you mean Indigo? Yeah, I mean both of them. The Indian Throne Blue is PB60. Indigo is made with PB60. So it should be good. You can check out perhaps either Kimberly Crick's website or sunandcolors.com. There's a chance there you'll be able to find light fastness swatches for PB60, perhaps for this specific color, but if not, at least PB60 and PBk7. So you can compare if the two components of a paint are light fast. Chances are that the mix of them is going to be light fast as well. And hi, Elizabeth. Tea. Tea is good. It's my chai cha tea. I'm trying to use up as many words for tea that I know. Oh, I forgot to use the French one. Tea. It's my tea chai cha tea. Otto is very famous. Oh, I forgot to keep a bit of the palette sludge. So when I do the other sheet of mixes, I like to start with the yellow, but I like to start with not the yellow pure from the pan. I kind of want it to have a bit of the other two colors in it, because we have the wheel here for the like pure straight from the pan mixes. But for this, I want the mixes to be a bit more messy. So I'm gonna have to just steal a tiny bit of the pink and just a tiny bit of the blue. and then put my yellow in there. Just so it's just a tiny bit contaminated. Been lurking, but I have to go out now. Love these streams, thanks. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. And I hope you have a good day. I don't know if you're out for errands or whatnot, but I hope it goes well. And I hope you have a great weekend. I also like, oh, I keep using the dirty, well, the dirty water just adds more contamination in there. That's fine. Sometimes I like to do a swatch of the same color, but just a version that's more diluted. It doesn't do much with these mixes that's all transparent colors, but when you have a granulation color in there, a diluted mix is really interesting to see just how it reacts to the nature of the pigments in it and then the water. But with all transparent colors, it's a bit moot. The swatch colors look like nature colors before spring outside. Yeah, they really do. I mean, not spring here. If it was spring here, I would need a whole lot more brown and gray. But there, you can get some sort of a like a fresh shoots kind of green, and you know, the poking out of the tulips. It's not very springy. It's like -7 Celsius here today, -11 something. It's kind of cold. Alright, let's get started with the pink in the mix. It's so weird to do these upside down, but yeah. Oh, speaking of Holbein colors, Otto, did you notice that they've released like the Chroma Shine colors? They have kind of like color shifting metallics now. And they look so fascinating. Oh, hey, Shuhu Jin, hello. I don't know how you say that. I apologize if I butchered it, but I'm pretty sure Jin is Jin. And Taterniak, hello. Are the paints cheaper or dearer? What do you mean? Than Winsor and Newton. If you want to check it out, Otto, I think Jackson's posted it on Instagram. And you can kind of see they have very limited swatches over there, but what little is, you know, visible, it's like the paint on a brush, and it looks fascinating to look at. Color shifting with, yeah, they look really awesome. Hey, DGF, sorry, hi, hello. The cost, it really depends. Yeah, like Jill said, it depends on where you live. Depending on where you live, what is or isn't available or what is affordable or not affordable is gonna fluctuate a lot. I don't have these where I live. I've not heard of them, but they look very nice. They are very nice. But if you have a professional brand that's available locally, then you probably have access to great paints. The sort of rule of thumb that I see most people ascribe to when they recommend paints or not is to really focus on what is available to you. Oh, you're in the UK. You should have access to Roman Schmal via Jackson's or possibly other websites. Aren't they pretty, Otto? Like, that effect looks really fascinating. I don't know what one we use it for, but oh my gosh, the Chroma Shine and Chroma Pearl, I think. Oh, it's so pretty. It's mesmerizing. Like, I would just want to paint a big swatch of it and then just stare at it in the light. I just don't know what to do with those kind of paints. Yeah, I bet it looks amazing if you do fantasy paintings like fairies or possibly abstract ones. I like to have a big patch of that, and when the painting catches in the sun you get the pretty shiny, but that's always the thing with those, even regular shimmer paints. It's beautiful, but always a bit of a headache to figure out how to use it. And it's like, I want to use it. I really just want to, I want to put that paint everywhere. I just don't know how to make it make sense unless it's sort of abstract, because abstract can really focus more on, you know, the colors, the textures, the effect of the paint. If you're trying to do some sort of illustration, it's tricky. But if you can figure it out, it makes for really awesome originals though. Like, there's something really special about having an original painting that has a bit of shimmer on it, because that's something you will never be able to see on a photo. Yeah, the brands don't make them because there's lots of use. They know we'll buy them because they're pretty. I feel kind of... Oh, I feel used. I feel like they saw through me way too easily. It shouldn't be allowed. I would use these colors on an apricot color or creamy paper. The colors I'm swatching are the shiny colors. I love to use chroma sparkly paints as accents in sketchbook, because as you turn the pages, that's the really interesting part of these paints, is just to see them interact with light and everything. But at the same time, manipulated, it's weaponized prettiness. I love that. Weaponized prettiness, that's so good. And it works, dang it. It works so well. I love the paintings with the shimmer accents that you've painted. Oh, thank you so much. But yeah, I try. So I really work my brain so hard. Like when I would do the cat portraits, I have a bunch to do still, but I like to use iridescent paints for the cat's eyes, because I'm like, oh, then when it catches in the light, the eyes kind of shimmer, so it's a bit like, you know, actual cat eyes. Ooh. And I like to do little details on clothing or metallic accents on metal bits, but it's a very it's kind of still limited. If I put shimmer over the whole thing, it's gonna be a bit too much. Beetles, yeah. If you do more, though fantasy beetles would be neat too. I will fall for it every time. Don't say that, it hurts. Me too. Oh. There's a significant number of times that Otto will send me a link to a thing. And it will be like, talk me out of buying this. I don't need it, but it's pretty. Like the assortment of threads that came in a really pretty box. It's dangerous. Just take my money. You had me at iridescent. Pretty much. What did I do? Doing winter holiday cards on black paper. Yeah, I can see that. I think it would make fun Halloween decor too. I got that box of thread in the end. Yeah, I remember you found a good justification for the box. And that's fine. I mean, I'm all for getting stuff that one will use and enjoy. That's especially if it comes in a nice package. That's like win-win-win. I'm actually using that box of thread on my new... Yeah, you use it for hand sewing, right? Weaponized cuteness is why I keep buying Miniverse. Make it full. Hey, Gwendolyn, hi. Hello. Yeah, that was a good purchase. Totally justified. You're making embroidery on your watercolor paper. How does that work? I'm very vulnerable to pretty sets, and if it has cats on it, I'm screwed. Completely done for. So we're not mentioning that I didn't do anything with that box of threads. What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about. Now, where is my Oscar for this amazing acting? Yep. Though, I will say, and that's not against anything, there is something particularly satisfying about having that thing that you know you have in your stash, and then the perfect opportunity to use it shows up, and you're like, I know exactly what I need, and I've been waiting for this moment to use it. And now I am vindicated. You know, this kind of really satisfying. It's a bit like completing a puzzle and putting in the very last piece of it. You're like, oh yes, yes. That was the whole plan all along. You admired it for the first 2 years. The admiration stage is very important. Yep. I know it will come in handy one day. Exactly. I'm just sewing geometric patterns on either white or paper. Oh, that sounds really interesting. It is super, isn't it? Isn't it? It's like the whole, you feel like you play like 27D chess. Elena! Hello! Hello, hello. I dropped a palette out of excitement. Oh no, did it survive? It's just nice to have a box of pretty colors. Dude, that has to be a t-shirt. It applies to everything. Food, makeup, paint, thread, fabric. The kitchenware. Cake report. No cake this. What do you mean no cakes? What do you mean no cakes? I got myself the macro painter after years of resisting. I couldn't anymore, and it's filled with an odd yellow. Yeah, speaking of odd yellow free palette, that's kind of what inspired this triad. When I set up the triads, or did you mention it after? But yeah, anyway, I have a yellow free triad today, and it did the yellow when you mix it with the pink. And I thought of you because you mentioned that with your yellow free palette as well. I'm baking bread. Oh, okay, that works. I don't have cake every week. Ah, but everyone should. Lots of rabbit holes? Where? What? How? Last week was really special. Like the week that just finished, or the previous week? Exactly, green gold with orange mixes a muted, almost Quin gold yellow. I have PY129 there and PO64. See, I mixed it with cherry quinacridone red, and I got a yellow that's a tiny bit like nickel azo yellow, which is really weird because you kind of don't expect that to happen, but then it does, and you're like, wait. Previous week was special when... Oh, okay. It was a special cake week. I like the micro painter palette. I may own 2 of them because I needed an empty one after. I was like being afraid. Yeah, you kind of need 2 stickers. One you stick somewhere and one you save up, right? What I like of the micro painter though is you can get other pans and you can like possibly switch them out. But it's such a fun little palette. Color theory is amazing, though I'm not entirely... I haven't done the maths on how you get a yellow from mixing a yellow, green, and a pink. I'm gonna have to sit down and sort of deconstruct that one. I have ideas for the next one already. No, you can get pans for it. And they have like special configuration pans too. I'm really loving the greens that are mixed from this palette. They are so nice. Though I gotta say, it's a bit weird to use a palette that's so smooth with 0 granulation. I kind of expect my colors to have texture to them and they don't, and I'm just like, what's up with that? I can show you a color circle with PY129 and PR. Yeah, sure. I mean, I won't be able to check it right now, but I feel like there are 2 types of folks in the world. Ones who understand needing the second sticker and... Yeah, pretty much. Isn't it because the orange from the cherry Quin... If it muted out anything from the green, we would get a more gray color. Because this is not light, this is pigment color. So when you mute stuff, when you sort of void something off with... Yeah, but honestly I thought about Otto's transparent palette when using these from years ago. Wait, I don't... I feel like this one is not muted enough to justify. And it's not the fact that it's muted, it's the fact that it's yellow that I'm puzzled about. I gotta do the brain gremlin thing. Alright, so my green gold. If I was to mix green gold from cyan, magenta, and yellow, it would be a lot of yellow, a bit of cyan, and then a touch of magenta, because it's a kind of slightly muted green. And then if I have my cherry Quin on the other side, I have magenta, but a significant amount of yellow too, and no cyan. So when you combine the 2, you end up with a lot of yellow. And then you have a bit of magenta and cyan to mute it down. So that's why we end up with a yellow. It's just that there's just too much yellow in these colors. Alright. Good. Brain gremlin satisfied. I have a palette labeled Otto's Mixing Palette why I had a lot of fun doing the color wheel. Oh, that's awesome! But green, gold, turquoise, and magenta create a very nice neutral black too. I mean, it makes sense that they would. It's surprisingly easy to mix a neutral color from triads, in the sense that since you can customize the ratio of each color in the mix. Like, I've had some triads where one color of the triad was just a teeny tiny bit in the mix to make it a neutral, because the other two colors were almost doing it completely, like almost neutralizing perfectly. And sometimes you kind of have to tweak things in another direction. Color theory is so fun when you understand it. Yeah, well, I mean, it gives you, it unlocks the access to being able to figure out everything. When working with paint, I mean. Like, if you get a result from a mix that you don't like, well, you can try to deconstruct it to figure out why it didn't turn out like you wanted. And you can also kind of predict mixes a bit easier if you take the time to just do the deconstruction, basically. Am I spending extra time on the greens because I really like them? No. I have no idea what you mean. It's very useful. I've been painting with it today too. And I'm about back to where I started, so it's gonna be time to do whatever I want. Mix everything together. More palette mix. Yeah, palette mix. Okay, weekly question time. What's the best thing? I kind of asked it earlier because you weren't there. But please answer again. Or find the second best thing you ate this week. I made some nice veggies and rice this week. Please elaborate, because I mean, veggies and rice can go on the full spectrum from insanely boring to really amazing. Chocolate. Well, let's have the second best thing, or let's have the worst thing. Oh no, Otto. Okay, next time I will not ask the question. I will wait for you to come in and ask the question. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nothing for me tasted good this week. COVID. No. Aww. Dang it. I hope you've managed to recover a bit from it. No, Otto. It's fine, it's fine. I'm sorry. I should keep the question for when you're around. But I wanted to know too. Oh, Alena, I got your letter. Thank you so much. I keep forgetting to let you know, but I got it yesterday, I think. I have another question that kind of bugs me a bit. So I got the new Schminke colors, and I know you swatched them. What do you think of the Cologne Bridge Green? I liked it more than I thought I would, but I don't understand why they have two white colors in there. But then someone pointed out something really interesting, that if you don't oh wait, do I have the info? I don't have the info on hand. But if you don't hold on, brain catching up. If you don't consider every single pigment that makes it separately, it is made from two colors from Schminke. I'll try to see if I can find it. Oh, it's in the color wheel binder. I think. Is it? No, it's not. Oh, this other binder. There's so many binders. Come on, Schminke colors, where are you? There you go. Ooh. There you are. Okay, sorry. I should be able to locate it more efficiently because it's A4 instead of letter size, so it pokes out of my binder. Oh, Liddy? Hey Liddy, hi, welcome. Hey Otto, I haven't answered yet. Tuna pokeball with spicy sriracha mayo. That sounds amazing. Otto, come back. This week I have a really good matcha tea cupcake. Oh, that sounds amazing. There's a lot of green bridges in Cologne, apparently. So hold on, let me see if I can figure it out. It was a mix of a... Dang it, this sheet is stupid. Doesn't have the pigment info on it. Frick. Stupid Schminke. I hate their dot card. Dang it. It's so idiotic to not have the pigment info on there. Like, really, guys? How useful do you think that is? Alright. I have the catalog. Catalog. So, hold on. PG19 and what's the other one? There are two greens in that one. Sorry, I was checking out the new Schminke colors. I don't get this edition. It wasn't. Hold on, let me... If I can figure out the info that someone shared, that was really insightful, but my brain is useless. And I can't remember. So hold on, it is PG18 and PG7, right? Within the mix of Cologne, Bridge Green, whatever. Then where did he put those stupid colors? Yeah, okay, so it's basically, I think this color, I think this color has all of these in there because it's a mix of Naples yellow reddish and their chromium oxide green brilliant. Because the chromium oxide green brilliant is PG18, PG7, and then Naples yellow reddish is PW6, PW4, PR242, and PY150, which would make a whole lot more sense because let's say you mix a color as a painter. You're not going to mess around with mixing 6 pigments, but you might mix 2 paints together. And I think that's where the color comes from. Does that make sense? I think it's either Lewis or maybe Dave on the Discord who figured that out. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Mix sriracha with the cube I made. Oh, dude. And again, what's the point of making a dot card where you don't include pigment info? I'm looking at you, Schminke and Winsor Newton. What are you guys thinking? What's the point? That actually does make more sense, doesn't it? Like, it's something that I hadn't thought about when thinking about the McCracken Black from Daniel Smith that has 7 colors in it. And I was like, I mean, is this guy really mixing up all these pigments to get his black? And if so, I can understand like mass producing it. That makes a whole lot more sense. But when I looked at the Cologne Bridge Green, I was like, why is this color so complex when there's really nothing that alchemical about it? Like, balancing 7 pigments to get a black sounds like alchemy. Getting a muted granulating green from these pigments, I feel like you could use half of them and get there. But it makes a lot of sense if they're actually the combined pigments of 2 colors. Because mixing 2 colors, that's straightforward. Each one of them with their specific pigments is already balanced out, so that won't change in terms of ratio within that paint. And then you can just balance out the ratio of the 2 paints. So I think that's the secret behind the secret of the pudding. That makes sense because there are collabs with artists who mix Schminke colors to get their signature color. I complained to Schminke about it, but they don't see it. What do you mean you complained about it? What colors are mixed together? Oh, freak. Naples yellow reddish, and the other one is like chrome oxide green brilliant or something. Hold on. Yeah, chromium oxide green brilliant, color 511. It is PG18 and PG7, and then you mix it with Naples yellow reddish, which is PW6, PW4, PR242, and PY42. So that makes sense. I think one of my favorite color of that specific release is the atoll blue. The one color that is not buff titanium and that is not artists sort of designed-ish. The thing that I thought was weird too is that when I looked at the artists they selected for this specific collaboration, there's 2 of them that have a significant footprint out there. Like, they have a bit of a fan base, They paint a lot, they, you know, they create content related to painting. They would work out well as brand ambassador. And then you have the third artist, that my theory is that it was someone's cousin or brother or something. Not that they're not good, but they really don't have any kind of presence. And I'm like, why did they reach out to that specific person? When you have someone like, I don't know if he still uses schminke, but Mateusz Urbanovic used a lot of schminke colors. And he has kind of a bigger presence and would possibly sell paints more, you know? I wonder which brand is going to create the first 100 pigment mix. Is there even 100 pigment to mix together? Yeah, I guess that would be random gray. Fair. Impossible to know how many pigments go in it, but it's a significant number, I'm sure. Weirdly, I mix the same hue from PG18 and PY. Well, the thing is PY42 really depends on which PY42 you select to make the mix. Plus water, so it's not as opaque. As I type, I realize schminke is painted. Yeah. Random gray is really nice. I love it. I love that they finally did a watercolor edition. I haven't been able to find it in Denmark. Which color, Liz? Speaking of mixing too much colors, I was inspired by Schminke's Random Gray and mix my own with my leftover. That's cool. Your leftover, like you make your own paints and then you mix the leftovers together. That's always a lot of fun. You get some really good, like, muted colors from doing that. They switched to medium. I know, but they kind of took their time to get to watercolor. No one cares about oil. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Though, speaking of oil, earlier today, Mr. E brought back to mind something that I had, you know, somewhat forgotten. It's a kid's, not a song because it's 4 lines. What is that? Is that what they call a limerick? Or whatever. But yeah, it's basically 4 lines that would translate to oil paint. It's difficult, but it's so much prettier than watercolor. And I got offended. I had forgotten about that, and I was like, wait a second, that's rubbish. I take offense from this. Stupid kid song. Not even right. Oh, the paint of the year. Yeah, you kind of have to get it from Jackson's, possibly. It would probably be the easiest way to get it. I hate it when people are like, this medium is better than the other. Same. But I had never really, you know, I had forgotten about that completely. And back when it was possibly more present in my brain, I had no skin in the game. So it was just a limerick. It was just a little song that, you know, rhymes and is catchy and you can sing and you don't really care about what it means. That's like saying a sedan is better than... Well, pickup trucks suck. They're one of the worst cars, with a very few exceptions. But I really hate the current trend in pickup trucks. Oh, this looks like Potter's Pink. Interesting. Huh. Dude, pickups are awful. Especially American pickups. The older models of pickups, when they were actually smaller and useful, were great. And you have a couple of European sort of pickups that are quite nice, like the Toyota Hilux. But dude, a Ford 150 is rubbish. But it's just so big. It's so big. And the ultimate dump truck is the Cybertruck. That's rubbish. Literally held together by glue. Jesus, have not. I mean, you said pickup truck. Let's have it. A sedan is better than a minivan. There you go. Or a hatchback. That's better. Pickup trucks are trash cars. I really hate them. Really hate them. With a passion. With the caveat that the older, smaller pickups were quite nice. Like, what was it? It was a Toyota. Oh, I can't remember the model. I'm not a car person all that much, but there was one in this area. It was a blue Toyota model of older pickups. That's, you know, what I would call the original pickup size. Actually, the 150 is smaller. No, the 150 is huge. And then the 450 has got to be humongous. They're ridiculous. They're absurd. They're like, I barely can look above the hood of the car. I'm 5 feet tall. I couldn't even get in there without breaking my face. I mean, ugh. Sorry, I really hate them. Never seen a cyber. I haven't seen one personally, but I have friends who've seen them. The thing is I don't go outside all that much, so I'm not likely to see a car straight out of a PS1 out there. But yes, I hate the trend towards bigger and bigger trucks. I don't understand their usage for hauling. That's the thing, though. That's the thing that bothers me. Okay, so older models of pickup trucks that were still a pickup truck. It's not a small car. It's still a small truck. They had more bed space than the newer models. And the cars were like so much smaller. And they would work so much better on the farm too. Like, I have nothing against the older models of pickup trucks that were actually useful. The modern pickup trucks are stupid. They take so much space, they cost so much money, they pollute a lot more. They are a danger to everything that's 5 feet and below. They burn up so much gas. They take so much space. They're part of the problem with why we have so many roads and stroads. And you don't need a 10-lane freaking highway. Ugh, sorry. Triggered? Nah. I will put it in a sack with... Pretty much. So you know I'm always trying to convince you to move here. I don't know who does, Amy. That's a really big question. And I kind of want to punch them. There is a special kind of people who drive pickup cars. SUVs are anti-tardies. Big on the... You're not talking about cars, do you, Detect? I do! I'm rambling about cars! Hey, Paulo, you're coming in mid-rant about stupid pickup trucks that take up too much space. Final day of desync. Oh, time zone-wise, you mean? That is always rant when it comes to private cars and bikes. Bikes? Really? But yeah, cars, I really have an issue with cars. I have a beef with them. The bigger the car, the bigger the beef. Better city planning would not need cars, or would need a whole lot less of them, honestly. But yeah, if you want to see a small truck that is awesome, as about as much bed space as modern day pickups, look up the Key truck. The Japanese Key truck, Kei. It's amazing, and it's tiny. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. Oh, I get so bothered with this nonsense. History nerd fact: oil paint used to be considered unsuitable for women to use. Watercolors were considered better suited to female temperament. In short, misogyny. Oh man. Well, I mean, they're lost because watercolor is definitely the best medium. Key. Yeah, exactly. They're great. They can do everything, and they can fit on roads, and it's particularly annoying in a city like the one I'm in because it's a big city. I'm sort of ish in the suburbs ish, but not really ish. And you see so many pickup trucks around here, and these people are not farmers. Maybe a couple of them work in construction, but even when you work in construction, a huge modern day pickup truck is not necessarily the best vehicle for everything. And they just, you know, take up space of 2 other cars, and they kill toddlers and animals and short people. It's just a shit car. I really hate them. I prefer biking to point A to B. I mean, same, but you need the infrastructure for biking safely too. I would give up my car in an instant if we had efficient public transport in my area. Well, that's... I mean, I'm glad to hear you say that, because it's really difficult, I feel, in North America. Everything is so car-centric that people tend to be really defensive about their cars, and they don't really want to... Like, even if they had the option, they don't necessarily want to use public transport or, you know, biking, whatever, like bike share, that kind of stuff. So I'm glad to see you say that, Jill. It kind of warms my old cold heart. Edinburgh is super walkable. It looks incredibly walkable, and not too bad for biking either. Like, possibly not the best, because I haven't heard of Edinburgh being the best in terms of biking. But from what I had seen, at least there are some, you know, ways to bike around a bit. I love that I moved to the bigger city. I haven't used my car much lately. Only the farm shop. But I want to go by bike there. Oh, that sounds great. People would also be healthier if we all walked. I mean, absolutely. But the thing is, nothing is near. Like, you don't have what they call the 15-minute cities anywhere. Like, everyone is lost in suburbs and nothing is close by. You need a car to get anywhere. And even if you would be brave and be like, I'm going to use my bike, you don't have any bike infrastructure to make sure you don't get smushed by a freaking pickup. In the US, there are different regulations for truck versus cars for fuel efficiency. Other countries too. So the making them bigger is part of using loophole. Yeah, I saw that. Pickup trucks, they're like ranked in a specific category that excludes them from having to pay like taxes or whatever, as if they were regular trucks. So they use that, like that's the loophole they use to make them bigger and bigger. I think it's been a while since I saw a video about that, but I was just wanted to break stuff up. Love Paris for making more and more streets car free. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean the streets over there are not meant for cars, hardly, and the less car there is, the easier it is for emergency services to get somewhere where they're needed. Like if it's already difficult to use the streets somewhere, you want to have the smallest number of cars possible blocking the way. Since I moved to the city, I have about 3K steps more. Oh, dude, I'm envious. Just from daily tasks and being able to go to appointments and supermarket. You should try biking in Denmark. I mean, what about the Netherlands? Paris is definitely trying to do a shift from cars to walking. And I mean, they have the... I don't know how much it has changed, and I don't know a lot about Paris, but what I feel like I know is that the older cities are kind of set up on the premise of everything being walkable, because if they're old enough to date back to a time when transportation was more limited, well, everything had to be accessible. So there should be at least a skeleton framework of things that you can set up to make cars less necessary. From where I live, though, I'd have to drive to get the bus and then ride. Oh, dude, that's such weird infrastructure. I'm sad. I kind of hate that city planning became that. Also, there are people who just think they look cool in bigger trucks, like people who drive cars that are race cars. Yeah, but if if I come across someone who thinks they look cool because they drive a huge pickup truck, I'm gonna laugh my ass off at them because it is so uncool. I'm Dutch, so cycling and or public transportation is like my second nature. It took me 43 years to buy a car, and that's a 12-year-old. A Renault Clio. I love it. It has to be like a smallish car. And yeah, I mean... I remember, I think it was the map that Otto sent me with all the bike lanes in Edinburgh. It was a kind of a world map, and you could zoom out. And after taking a good look at all the lanes in Edinburgh, I zoomed out, and I had to laugh because the the map of the Netherlands was covered. It was a different color because there were so many bike lanes close together that it changed the color of the map. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. I am a cargo e-bike. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's perfect. It's going to be very difficult to shift from cars to walking since most city knows. Yeah, that's... It's not an easy task, but we can't keep going with car-centric city planning. But e-bikers, all the bikers, whether it's an electric bike or a regular leg juice bike, unless there's specific bike lanes with something separating physically the bikers from the cars, it's really dangerous. It's so weird to watch videos of people in the Netherlands biking without helmets on and being all like, lee 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 lee, I'm enjoying my bike ride, I'm not living in stress of being hit by a car. And I'm like, wow, that's a thing. I like how most watches are somehow green. Oh, totally not intentional. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up on chat. Tons of large cities and mid-sized cities in the US have very, very bad. Yeah, infrequent buses, long walks, fun stop, crappy buses. Some bus stops might not feel very safe, or have like adequate protection from the elements. Like if it's raining and there's no shelter, well, you don't want to. No one wants to wait 15 minutes in the rain. Like, come on. The massive suburbs destroy so much. Yeah, that too. They cost so much money to maintain. Like most of the money that comes from the cities goes to the suburbs to maintain them, and a lot less money comes from the suburbs because there's a lot less density of population there. So it's just not a good balance. It doesn't work out fine. A watercolorist, hi. Hello, hello. Honestly, I think race car. I mean, yeah. I have to leave. Have a nice evening, Liz. You're probably already gone because I'm so late on chat, but thank you so much for stopping by. Bikes are really underrated. Bikes are awesome. Fietsen in the Netherlands is awesome. Fiets, bicycle. I kind of laughed when I saw that they have to dredge the canals because so many bikes end up in the canals, and I'm like, what? How? And you see the crane kind of dig in and pull up a big, like a big crane full of bikes, busted up bikes that ended up in the canal for some reason. I'm like, what the heck? People trains have to give way to freight trains, so... Oh yeah. I live somewhere now that has good public transport. It sucks in the suburbs. A lot of jobs. Really, jobs are in the suburbs. That's interesting. Because companies move around. Oh, well, the thing is if the companies moved over there, perhaps there's a chance that these suburbs become a bit more independent and develop more little companies or little businesses that are within walking distance to accommodate the people that are there. So that could be a positive development for that specific situation. Having a car is so expensive as well. Car insurance, car loans, fuel, maintenance. I was just looking up where Fietsen... I think Fietsen is just... I don't think it's a place. I think it's a... Is it a place? Or is it just the bikes? Bridges just for bikes. Stop! Stop! That hurts! That hurts! Yeah, we went all in for cycling. It's kind of our thing now. But it's also great to get in a casual 10K cycling. Yeah! Dude, that sounds amazing. And everything is, you know, thought up in that mindset. Because the bikes are affordable. They're made for that. Like I was watching a video about, I think it was it a Japanese bike or was it a Netherlands bike? But it was a bike that, A, didn't cost a lot of money. Around here, bikes are really expensive. If you look at it, like it's something that you cannot really, like, I don't want to go anywhere by bike here because I don't have a way to leave my bike attached somewhere where I'm confident it will not get stolen. And it's not even a fancy bike. It's just that you don't have like a bike for a couple of $100 that is just your commuting bike. And it works well, but it's really basic. And the bike I was looking at in the video, they had like integrated locking mechanisms that you can lock up some things and it's already part of the bike. You don't have to carry a bunch of extra stuff to lock your bike onto things. And then you go somewhere and there's no bike parking. Yeah, you can find a pole and attach your bike to a pole, but it's the infrastructure to make this a possible, enjoyable long-term solution is not quite there yet, which is really annoying because it's not like bikes are a new creation or something. Sorry. Fortunately, government love car companies. Yeah, I'm eager to see what we'll do when we will run out of fuel like dumbasses. Cars have a lot of hidden costs. I much prefer ride-sharing apps and public transport. Yeah, and our bike share even. We have PBk7 here. You can pay a monthly fee and you can hop on a bike at specific areas. They have like commuter bikes. Japanese probably they have bikes really cheap called mamachari. Hi Dante! If it's a drunken Saturday night thing, get pissed and throw a bike in the canal. But why? Give me the bike instead. So many good bikes end up in the canal. It breaks my heart. I'm like, we want the affordable bikes. Give them to us. No. I need to set up a portal at the bottom of the canals that when people throw bikes, it triggers the canal and the canal teleports the bikes here. I'm sure that's a thing. Yeah, how is Dante doing? Oh, covered bike places. Dude, that's luxury. Bike fishing was a thing in Delft. Oh, I would love that. Give me a big-ass magnet and I'm gonna fish some bikes. That's so funny. Still scared of the whole way. Aw. Poor Dante. He had some tummy issues. Oh, no. Aw. Poor boy. Just had dinner and has some of it on his chin. Has a dinner beard. Haven't heard of bike shares. Oh, really? Huh. I mean, I don't think all places have them, but yeah, it's for here in Montreal, there's a lot of stations a bit everywhere, and there's a lot of them also at the subway stations. So a lot of people will pay the subscription and ride a bike from their home to the subway station, leave the bike share bike there, and then get on the subway, and same way around. The only issue I feel like with bike sharing is that I haven't really used it, so perhaps they have a way to manage that, but you never really know if there's going to be a bike available at a specific stop, or if you're going to have room to lock up your bike share when you get to your destination. What if the thing is full? Like, what do you do? Fietsen is the verb for cycling. It's not a landmark. Oh, dude. You've got a big hook from the police. Car dependencies by design. Hey, Sean. Hi. Yeah, it's by design in the US, which is extra infuriating because it's such a short-sighted idea, and it's even more like known now, and a lot of companies are still very resistant to it for money reasons, and I just want to kick them in the shins. A couple of $100 for a community mag? No, 50. Don't say that, it hurts my soul. Like, if I want a bike here, it's I can get a really cheap, badly put together bike for a couple of $100. And then if I want a decent bike, it's closer to $1,000. And if I could get a bike for less than $100 and it's well made enough for commuting, I would get one. And it's the bike that you look up somewhere, and if something happens to it, well, it doesn't break your heart and your budget, you know. It's so stupid. And biking is healthy. oil is a finite resource, so once petrol becomes very expensive. Yeah, or they will... Oh, thank you so much for being here, Otto. Yeah, I'm about 25 minutes over. I got really into the car bike topic. Sorry? Not sorry? I don't know. Something that really bothers me because I get extra mad when something is just badly thought out. Because it's like, well, we can figure out this thing better. And then when we try to do it, whatever prevents us from making positive changes is always stupid. Like money. Yeah, money. Useful when you're dead, I'm sure. Anyway. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I've jump in a canal and get you on. I wish. I would. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, which is one of the least walkable cities on earth. Oh, dude. I'm sorry for you. It's a... It is not great. There, let's put it at that. Hi, Lyra. It's so annoying. It's so silly. You know that GIF or GIF or whatever of everybody facepalming like in sequence. Like I have one guy facepalming, three guy facepalming, a whole crowd facepalming or something. That's how I feel. Birds here in Australia have to adapt to the rural landscape. To the rural landscape. As opposed to no humans at all? Or what? It's so absurd to plan a city that you cannot go anywhere by foot. Like, I understand why they do it. It's because they want to sell cars and all that, but it's still absurd. It's still an urban landscape. It's like, why would you make it so impossible for people to walk anywhere? Like, I know, to sell cars, but you know what I mean. I saw someone earlier mentioning how many browns I could mix with the set. I'm sorry your question got buried in my heat for the the topic, but I feel you could mix a good amount of browns if you mix the pink, the green, and then a bit of the blue in it. Because the pink and the green get you kind of a yellow-orange color, and brown is basically when you mute down yellow-orange. So if you take your yellow-orange and you add a bit of the blue in it, you're going to mute it down and you're going to get browns that way. I was off screen for all of that. I'm really sorry. So yeah, oranges here. I hope that's in screen. The oranges. So if you mix the pink, the green, you get oranges. And if you mix a bit of the blue, you're going to make these darker and more muted. So you're going to get darker, more muted browns that way. I hope that makes sense. I enjoy not using my car for trips into the city. Seriously. If I want to go to the city per se, like downtown, I have to commute. Which, I mean, I'm glad it's there, but... There's a bunch of things that are within walkable distance, so that's great. I love that. But the job of city planners is not to promote car sales, it's to make space inhabitable. Well, someone needs to tell them that. Not, I don't think they're all bad, but yeah. I think some city planners have a separate agenda or paycheck. You know. Urban landscape sulfur crested cockatoos are now going through. That's gotta be so odd from a perspective here. I mean, we see what's the word, seagulls go through trash a lot, but for me it would look so surreal to see a cockatoo dig through trash, because it's a fancy bird, you know. Automotive industry and the petroleum industry won't allow it here, sadly. Well, yeah, I'm excited for when they run out of petroleum eventually. Maybe depressing. It's so infuriating. Salut Pickle. Kitty's back. I should try to mix a bit more violets. I don't know why I try and then it turns into greens. I still ride a bike here and it's always interesting. Oh my gosh. Are there any bike lanes, Sean? Or do you have to be like very courageous? They have learned how to open the bins. Dude, that's problematic. It's derived from the, wait, what is? It's derived from the French velocipede. How is fietsen and velocipede related? Or fiets? Whoa. Over here we will say a vélo for a bike. That's one of the words that we either use bicyclette or bicyc and vélo. Oh, the seagulls, you mean? Oh, the seagulls are absolutely shameless and reckless. They all they care about is the loot, really. Yeah, how do you even get feats from velocipede? Velocipede is used in Russian too for bike. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Yes, we have bike lanes, but people just use them to illegal. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's the most car-centric American thing I've heard in a while. Oh, unbelievable. Oh, good grief. Dude, you need full body armor to bike in those conditions. It's unbelievable. And there I go mixing it green or brown again. I'm trying to do purples and I keep going back to green. It is a sort of lighter in strength, but it is similar in hue, yeah, to a perline kind of violet. It's very, very natural looking colors, I feel like. I think you could easily paint a landscape with these colors and nothing would really look out of place. But that's the thing with triads, though. Triads have this kind of magic that whatever your triad is, the mixes made from it are always going to look good together. It would be an interesting challenge to test out triads and see if you can find one where the resulting mixes don't look good together. But I think that just based on the principle of the thing, it couldn't happen. It just couldn't happen. Cherry Quin is PR209. First plenty encore. Oh my god. So chaud. Tell not to it. Hey. So sorry. You guys remember Peko from earlier in the stream? She likes to sunbathe, but when she sunbathes, she kind of melts halfway through, and she will often end up face planting into a mug that we leave on the corner there. So she's like sitting, but her face is completely like buried in that mug. She's literally completely face planted, and she will stay like that for, you know, a significant amount of time. Like, she won't notice right away or be bothered with it right away. She will just stay there, and at some point she'll be like, what, where, what, how? And she goes back up, and then she will do it again. She'll face plant slowly as she melts, and it's just so funny. Seagulls will dive bomb you and grab. Oh, absolutely. They don't care. Pico is really cute. She's a special cat. She's an orange cat, so she has strong cases of the one brain cell at times. But she's also very cute and sweet. Qu'est-ce qu'elle a trouvé? Not me trying to fit in absurd tiny little swatches there where I could have just stopped. Like, no! More colors, I'm almost done with this page. Almost. There you go. So that's it. You get all the colors basically, starting from a slightly contaminated green to the pink to the blue and back to the yellow, and way too many greens, but as if you could have too many greens, really. All right, so I think that's gonna be it for today. Orange and female, she's unique. Yeah, there aren't many. There are there's a significant amount of female orange cat, just because there's a lot of orange cats, but it's more common to have a male orange cat than a female orange cat because of the way that it's genetically set up. You end up more often with the circumstances that will give you a male orange cat. I mean, people use the carpool lane the same way, so I don't take it personal. Yeah, but I mean, humans are squishy. You really don't want to have a car get to you in the bike lanes. Will you paint something with the triads too? For now, it's mostly about experimenting and figuring out you know, mixes and colors and triads that work together, and then I might go through these again and, you know, pick out my favorite and paint something with them, just because I love Adventure Cat and want to see more. I need to get out of the drawing slump first. I'm kind of in a drawing slump-ish kind of mood, so that's why I opted to do mixes and swatches, so I could still, you know, improve some skills even if drawing doesn't work out well at the moment. But yeah, I'm also gonna, once I'm done with this book, I'm about almost halfway through, but when I'm gonna be done, this is a book exclusively of mixes and swatches and all that, so I think I'm gonna do a little tour of these. So yeah, if there's a triad that you particularly liked, it's gonna be referenced in that eventual video. Hopefully, I hope so too. It's kind of annoying, but it's just, you know, it's how this works. It's cyclical. You get bursts of ideas and efficiency, and then you get slumps where the efficiency is really low. And you still want to be creative, but the output just cannot stay the same. Anyway, so thank you so much, guys, for being here today. This went a bit longer than intended, but that's fine. I'm fine. If you guys are fine with it, all good. I really appreciate you tolerating my big ramble about cars and city planning and all that. And yeah, also paint. So it was really fun, and I hope you guys will have a great weekend. Have a good evening, Sean, you too. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Thank you so much for being here again. I really appreciate it. There's going to be a new video tomorrow, and if everything is good, stream next Saturday. And in the meantime, you can check out our Discord server. There's a link in the description to the Discord. It's free. You can join up. We like to talk about paint stuff over there and share pet pictures and that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. And yeah, again, have a great weekend. Take care. See y'all in the next one. Bye bye.